Okay, I'm going to show you Veryfi Lens. We simply go here, click on Veryfi Lens. You'll see that this Verb app has got a lot of different options for different document types, right? From receipts to long receipts, checks, credit cards, the list goes on. I'm going to let you explore what this app is capable of doing on your own pace. You can download this app from the App Store for both iOS and Android. So in this demo, I want to click on the receipts and invoices, and you'll see that a custom camera has started. And what it's doing, it's actually looking for the document, right? So you see the document I'm holding in my hand. I can actually take a picture of it sideways if I want to as well. And you see that it's not picking up any other edges because this is document detection. It runs a very light machine model on the device. So I'm just going to take a picture of it. And you see how it nicely cropped out my hand and everything else. And all you need to do now really is just press the submit button. And this will send the document to Veryfi for data extraction. And just before I even finish speaking, you can see how powerful this is. It already finished the document extraction. We can have a look at the extracted data. Now, all of this is in JSON. Obviously, it could also be in XML or any other format that you prefer. There are line items which were also extracted, a bunch of other, more technical bits and pieces. But let's have a look at this inside the Vault. Okay, so this is Veryfi Vault. The Vault is essentially a place where you can see all the experiences that you can build out using the Veryfi APIs. It's a desktop app. And the first thing I want to do is basically grab that receipt that I scanned through Veryfi Lens from the Veryfi cloud. So I'm going to just right click on test one, which is the folder where I want to sort of, grab that receipt from. I'm going to click on Veryfi storage. I'm going to say, let's grab it from today. And there might be a few other receipts in there as well. So now it's fetching. It grabbed 3 documents from Veryfi cloud. And there you go. So this is the receipt that we just scanned, right? Here's the actual receipt, nicely cropped. On the right-hand side is the full JSON that the Veryfi API responds with. And this is the data that you can now visualize. So if I expand the line items, you'll see that all the line items are nicely visualized. You can click on, say, the first one, right? There it is. Here's all the data that we are visualizing below. And you'll see that there are categories, there's quantities. Now, if I scroll across, we've got this product intelligence expansion turned on, which I call Pi. Essentially, it looks at all the line items and says, well, what brand is it? What product category? And so forth. This is really cool if you are relying on line items, let's just say for bill pay automation, or maybe you're using this for loyalty programs or even expense management. You want to make sure that, when employees are traveling, that policy items are properly applied. So this gives you that sort of expansion on those line items. And you'll see there's a host of other data there as well. The Vault allows you to nicely visualize everything that was extracted, everything that was categorized, or the totals, subtotals, tips, and so forth. The other thing that Veryfi APIs can do is document audit and document integrity. So looking for fraud, right? And I've just opened this up here. Now, what you're looking at is a host of checks which were ran during the data extraction to make sure that this is not fraudulent. And straight away, you can see it's not fraudulent. Now, if you're a developer and you want to know, where do I get this data from? Just click on that little JSON icon here, and it shows you that it comes from meta.fraud, right? Now, if we scroll down, you see the duplicate detection. Again, you can click on that little JSON icon. It shows you meta.duplicates. That's where we find it all. Now, I have previously scanned this receipt, so it's obviously picking it up as a duplicate and potential similarities, right? So there are 2 types of checks that Veryfi will do. Exact duplicates and potential similarities. Moving along, you'll see a bunch of warnings which were triggered. It appears that, this line item appears twice on the receipt on line 5 and line 10. And, this is a warning, so it's totally up to you if you want to sort of do something about it. Further down, you see there's no price anomalies. So this will check, I'll show you on another receipt actually, but this checks whether that price well, there's something different between like some of the items. It's better visualized, so I will show you in a second. But moving on, there's a few items which have round numbers. Now, typically, if you've seen in grocery shops, round numbers are very rare. Some places do use them. This is actually a valid receipt, so these are okay. And again, these are just warnings. Moving along, we've got document completeness test, which came back at 75% because, certain items did not appear on this receipt. Transaction timing is actually a really cool one because this will check whether this receipt has been incurred during business hours or outside of business hours. Let's just say like on the weekend. Business receipts are very rare on the weekend. Next check, we've got attendee validation. So in this example, from the receipt, the system picked up that there were 6 guests. The total bill came to $222.29. And so that sort of, gives you the average per guest. Now, this is actually slightly over the allowed limit because what Veryfi will do is it will check, hey, what's your lunch limit? What is your, dinner limit? And those two numbers can be different. Few other checks, tip analysis, also whether someone has over-tipped, right? This is within policy, which is about 20% maximum. But again, looking at the tip, the subtotal, the system will sort of alert you. So these are great policy checks for people that are, that have travel and expense management products, or internally when any financial controller is doing any sort of audits. Now, further down, we've got things like fraud analysis, checks on the PDF, image analysis, page by page. So if you've got multiple pages, there's nothing here that's been handwritten. So this is empty, but we also check for handwriting. And then, more technical EXIF data that's stamped onto this document. So there's quite a lot of great stuff here. Overall, there is a fraud risk fingerprint where you can actually control the balances here, right? So I've pre-configured that the ML score is worth about 30%. Duplication is about 50%. Obviously, duplicate means it's potentially it's a higher chance of being fraudulent. But you can configure all of these variables. So you basically weights. You can configure these weights, and then the system will also do a calculation of fraud fingerprint. Cool. All right. And finally, right up the top, you can see that, the source of this document was Veryfi Lens, because that's what I showed you right at the beginning. We took a photo from the camera. All right, so that was document audit, and integrity checks. Cool other things you can do. So I've been a naughty boy. I love my Chick-fil-A. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of you folks that like it as well. So let's just look at what we can do with these product line items. And I've got a lot of Chick-fil-A receipts, so let's analyze all of them. We're going to run an insights report, and I'm going to jump straight into products right here. And so what's really cool about this is I'm analyzing 11 years of Chick-fil-A receipts. You see that on average, the price has gone up by 16.9%. All right, inflation and all that stuff. But what's really interesting to see is when you start looking at it from a line item. So what you have here is line items from all of those receipts. And, we look at stuff like, look at this, large fries. Large fries have gone up by 78%. Isn't that clever, Chick-fil-A? So I've noticed this pattern actually with McDonald's and Chick-fil-A receipts, that they've increased the line items by a larger margin than, let's just say, the meal. So what that means is it's easier to increase, from $2 to $29 to $4, for some products, which are small items, than, say, increasing a $10 burger meal by, by 100%, which would be $20. So people would notice, right? When you have a bigger number and you double it, people notice it. But when you double smaller items, people don't notice it. So very clever of these takeaway companies. But anyway, so that gives you an idea. You can even drill into it and have a look at all the receipts that make up each sort of line item. You can also do research on that line item. But yeah, so this is one way to look at your line item data. Another cool one is I love Home Depot. So I've been building stuff at home, what better way than, just doing it yourself? Feels good. And I've got all these, Home Depot receipts. So let's have a look at fees. And now what we're doing is we're analyzing line items for fees. And I was actually quite surprised that there's a paint care fee, lumber fee. I was like, what the hell are these things? And if we search for what is a lumber fee, you start to realize that the California Lumber Products Assessment is a 1% fee on the sale price of lumber. I still have no idea why they do it. It doesn't really tell me why. It funds the regulatory cost of timber harvest plans. Like, what the hell is that? However, what's interesting is the paint care fee. What I found out is that, I've got all these buckets left over from paint, and it seems that I can actually take them to the paint care center and get them recycled. Oh, that's interesting. Fees range vary by container. Hold on a second. But I just paid for... Wow. Okay. So this is sort of the way the fees work. The way I understand this, and again, this would be nice if... when you see stuff like this, you want to know, right? So Home Depot should say, hey, by the way, the state will recycle it or bring the buckets back to us because you're paying a fee of $1.50, right? And we will recycle it for free for you versus, throwing out, a dirty bucket into the trash and God knows where it goes. But anyway, really cool that you can sort of dig into that data and start to understand that not only are you paying, whatever things cost, not only are you paying taxes, but now you're also paying fees. And, if I drill down, I can actually dig into some of these fees. So let's have a look at this document. So there's my Home Depot. You see it's been flagged. Oh, that's the lumber one. There's the paint care fee as well. And you can see right across here, product intelligence expansion and so forth. So that's really cool. Really, really cool. So the power of line items. I mean, being able to look at all of your receipts, find out what the heck's going on, what are you paying money for, right? How much tax are you paying? Like you can see, this was a large transaction, $306, and $26 in taxes. Then I was paying lumber fees, taxes. Then I was paying paint care fee, taxes. Very, very interesting. I mean, I really hope these things are being used for good. But yeah, so that's essentially, the power of being able to scan a receipt, get a lot of interesting insights from it. Oh, here's McDonald's. Let's have a quick look at McDonald's receipts. This is oh, by the way, this is the spend of how much money I'm spending over time. Looks like in 2023, I spent a bit more money on Maccas. Maccas is McDonald's in Australian. What was this? Frappe surcharge. Maybe that was an upgrade. We can actually go and have a look at that. What was that? Oh, yeah, okay. I upgraded. I changed the drink in the Egg McMuffin to a Frappe. Okay, cool. Okay, that's straightforward. Transaction timing. That's a pretty cool one. So you can see when I buy McDonald's. Thursday. That's very interesting. Seems Thursday is the day for me to be buying McDonald's. Again, if this was a company expense, which is not, this is a personal expense, Sunday and Saturday transactions are red flagged, right? But, this is a personal expense. So it's very interesting. Something about Thursday, which makes me want to have Maccas. Monday, I guess I'm coming in from the weekend. I want to be all healthy. And then Thursday, I'm like, give me some Maccas. That's pretty cool. Cool. And products, right? So now we can also look at the price of Big Mac. The price of Big Mac actually has gone up. That's quite interesting, by 34%. Now you see how some of the line items, there's quite a lot of line items actually over here. What is that? Fillet of fish has dropped in price. Well, that's interesting. There's also a little threshold here where you can basically adjust, how the matching happens or the merger between some of the line items. What's this? Frappe drink. Jeez, that's gone up. Orange juice has gone up. Egg McMuffin has gone up. So yeah, a lot of interesting data. I mean, it's a wealth of information, right? When you can sort of just look at all of your receipts this fast. Okay, I'm going to stop waffling now. If you have any questions, please reach out with questions, and I will show you more of the product as we go along. Okay, cool.